Merry meet and welcome to Lux Dragon Queen Magic. I'm Taylor and today is our Feminine Friday where we are go ahead and take a look at our Divine Femme Collective. And so this reading is for anyone and everyone because no matter how you identify, you will carry both energies of the Divine Femme and Masculine within you. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. And so right away we have Marguerite Porriat, the mystic of divine love. Love is divine. I am nothing except love. So for her soul voice meditation, if you would like to take this a step further, is it to identify how you can bring more of love for yourself out. So with that, essentially what she wants you to know is that it's so interesting. So there's a couple of messages coming through here. Because for Divine Feminine, especially in the last week, we really were seeing like we're feeling very tired. We don't want to carry the burden of becoming the teacher because we've been hurting, and like here we're having another card saying like just be love, and like sometimes that too can be met with a more shadowy response than we would like. And so this card is less to signify that you are part of a twin flame connection and more to signify that you are part of a divine connection to source. And so in reality, where you find your love, where all your love comes from, is from source. And so that is actually where this is coming from. That is actually where it's asking you to find your love, is to just fully embody yourself into that of source, into that of being divine, not necessarily divine feminine, but that of being divine. And then in addition to this, you will find that that love comes from within you, and that is where your truest love is. So something to, I don't know if you guys have Netflix or watch You, but in this series at one point something said is like your truest, like your soulmate is yourself, like that little voice that speaks up for you and that says you deserve more, that's your soulmate. And that's just really what's coming through, and that's something to focus on right now as you're working through your projects, your own spirituality, and like waiting for your connection. I'm hearing a lot of twin flames are not in connection or going through this communication breakdown as the divine masculine is needing to affirm their own boundaries and understand who they are. And so that's why we're seeing her come through for us this time, is because it's just really encouraging to understand that your love does not come from the divine masculine, it comes from within you and source, because you are source and source is you. Okay. With that, we have our tarot. Okay. And so we have the Magician as well as the King of Wands coming out. So this is very interesting. First off, I'm hearing from source, this is reiterating the fact that you are manifesting the world around you, and that you are working within the elements, and that they are responding to how you want to move forward. The other thing with this is that this is again just reaffirming that, because the Magician is a power, it's not necessarily a power one, it's a power of one in the sense that it's like all coming together to become one, but it is the one card, and it is just pointing out to me the singlehoodness of the fact that like you don't need another in order to feel that essence of love within you. You have every right, every choice within you, all the willpower to bring it out into this world, to bring it out into the reality and manifest it into the real world versus the 5D. We're gonna take that. Anyways, and so we have also the King of Clubs. For the fact of this is kind of just reiterating the fact. So something too, if you saw the Divine Masculine, is we saw like the Queen of Swords coming up. So we're seeing this interesting switch, because we have both energies within us, this interesting switch where the Divine Masculine is needing to understand more of their internal energies and how to work with those, while we are the Divine Feminine side is experiencing needing to express creativity with the external and knowing how to make plans realistic. So I'm seeing like this is a lot of like our project leaders who are overseeing, and they're like in those starting meetings, and they're like, okay, this is the great little plan, perfect, and then you're able to take that little plan and make several other steps. Like if you're writing a book and you have like a book idea, you're able to go ahead and write out a full outline to see it from step A to point B. And that's like what part of being a King of Wands is you're able to take all of that creative energy and passion and what you're working on and you're able to bring it into a way that the outside world can recognize and resonate with it. So very beautiful. And then, okay, I kid you guys not, I didn't even, these were nowhere close to each other. So like I very much intentionally put this card back too because it fell out and I thought I had messed up when I was shuffling. So very interesting that it came out still. This is telling me that we are having, this is the Fool. Let me tell you what it is. This is the Fool. So this is telling me again that very much like last time we saw that you are now a butterfly and you are learning how to be a butterfly in this completed state. You mastered being a caterpillar. You probably mastered being in the chrysalis form, and so now you've become the butterfly, and now it's time for you to learn how to master being a butterfly. And that's why you are the King of Wands, because you are a butterfly. You know how to navigate this world, and so you're doing it beautifully. And that is really Spirit coming through again, just remembering to love yourself, remembering where like all of your compassion comes from, because it is there for you, and you're just like shining so bright. I'm seeing that you really are just like taking care of what needs to be taken care of and doing it great. Like you're so much within your element, and you're letting curiosity go. Yeah, you're following your passions, and you're letting yourself step. Okay, like we said with the King of Clubs, you're probably at a new project, but you're able to see it completely from the start and completely flesh it out. So trust that for what it is. And then we have another tarot. Okay, we have the Queen of Swords coming up for you. All right, this is so interesting. So this is twofold. For some of you, you are in connection with your divine masculine, it would seem, and so this is how I would say you're probably supporting. Let's just go ahead and keep with the book metaphor. So there's so many other different ways that you could be a business partnership, but this is what's going on in my world right now. So with that, we're saying that maybe the way that you and your divine masculine are working together as partners is that you are actually supporting them in how to express their internal world into the external, into a much more creative and bright way. So you're really helping them find the creativity. I want to point out the fact that there are no like hearts associated with this. It really is just like creativity, passion, and joy. And then because they essentially are really like trying to not focus on their feelings because maybe they're not as comfortable with that, but they're focusing on their ideas and they're having some struggle with just that. And so you're like, well, here's an interesting new way that you can express that idea. And so that may be forming into a brand new business venture. I'm hearing again, I mean, I talked about writing an outline, but what is an outline but a business plan? That's not true. There's a lot more that goes to a business plan, but that's my point, is like probably both of you together are able to really write out a fully fledged business plan is what I'm saying. In addition to this, so if you are in separation from your divine masculine, then you just might be doing this with a partner at work and just supporting the collective in general. Because again, we're having Marguerite come up, show us that like our truest connection is to source. So you might not be doing this project with your divine masculine, your divine counterpart, but you are in fact doing a very important project that is supporting others in externalizing themselves. I just heard too, like maybe you're thinking about therapy or going into therapy and like becoming a counselor of sorts or like mentoring, and that's additional way, because like that's people typically go into therapy and mentoring because they're having some kind of internal situation that they're wanting to bring into the external. And with your creativity, with your passion, you're able to do that in a way that allows them to actually express it and remove that blockages. So great. Go you. And then next we do have some Pegasus. Okay, so we have Pegasus of the Alpha Centauri. So the thing I'm picking up the most from this is, again, you are just like a go-getter. Like you kind of like recognize your worth, your value, and like what you want to do, and you're really going towards that. And Spirit is saying like you have you do have love and support from the Pegasus as well in regards to this. Something coming through ultimately is like, this is like even in moments when you feel isolated and lonely. Oh yeah, this is just again telling you like connect to that internal source that you have, because you are being guided. You are like you're part of like the North Star is kind of like how you could look at this, and like you are guiding others. And this is Spirit saying like even when you feel lost, like just return back to your internal self. Oh, so interesting. So like the divine masculine is also being asked to turn internal, like we are mirrors, and they're needing to seek the answers within, and then you are just needing to seek the love within yourself and the comfort, because you already have all the answers that you need. Oh, great. I love the similarities. And then we have the fierce Pegasus of fire. You know, just going along with the similarities, we did see the sun come out for the last one, and so this is almost saying like, you kind of like, you're not off in space, you aren't far away providing strength, you're very up close, you're bright, you're brilliant. People might get burned if they come too close to you, but you are so careful in that you are like, you're the king of wands. Of course, you have so much fiery energy like pulsing through you, and you're able to use it to the benefit for others. Like, I'm hearing like you can use fire as any metaphor that you would like to, and it will be beneficial for you, because any affirmation, any like poetry, anything that deals with fire or light, you are going to feel very connected to and empowered by, because that's what you are. You are this bright fire. You are bringing clarity to people. You're bringing insight. You're bringing creativity. You're bringing drive. You're bringing motivation. You're getting it done. You see step A to step Z. And you are encouraging others to actually take those steps forward. And because you yourself, I'm hearing like you yourself have already taken a few steps forward. So that's why you're like, come on, it's already safe. The water's fine. Let's keep going. I know, ironic I said water, even though you're fire. But next, we have the red Pegasus of firelight. What did I say? So this also is actually, it's also number 1. So really, 1 is going to be a very powerful number for you. Very much you might feel some choices and burdens might be coming upon you. Again, that's why you're going to want to go inside of yourself and recognize that you do have all the love that you need right there between you and source. And then, so this also is, you're going to want to do some root chakra work, because your foundations, you're feeling so strong, but you don't want your foundations to solidify to the point where you lose your flexibility. There we go. And I'm hearing like your suppleness, which take that out will, but essentially in the metaphor, you just don't want to be like turned into like cold iron. You want to still be mendable and bendable, because you're still just in the works. You're still working on everything, and no one needs to turn to stone in order to solve the world, is what I'm hearing. Yeah, and plus, if you have so much fire, that's going to keep you like a molten. Okay. So again, these Pegasus are just more encouragement of and confirmation, saying like, you are doing everything, just be this bright light that you are, and take confirmation, take comfort in the fact that you are this person. Okay. And then next we have some Rumi Oracle for you, and I'll read this from the book as well. So just please be patient with me as we read aloud. And so we have the lover and the beloved, 35. When you move beyond consciousness, you caress the beloved. When you move into the unknown, beyond everything, the beloved caresses you, Rumi. It is not enough to love me. I want you to allow me to love you. It is not enough to desire me. I want to be closer to me. I want to reach out to you and grab a hold of you, drawing you into me and never letting you be part from me again. There is so much more for us to experience, you and me, the simple gazing, even with love, at each other from a distance. Let me take you into my arms. Let me hold you until we cease to know and care where you and I once were, you and I. For instead we will be one. You will allow it. Will you allow me? Will you allow us to be? Oh, sweet beloved, the divine, the great beloved, has a passionate desire for you, to love you, to touch you, to make the divine presence known to you, so that you will cease to fear the darkness. Take delight in all of life and become memorized by the beauty of love and its endless emanations. But how we resist love at first. Oh yes, we have been burned before, have we not? Abandoned, betrayed, so painfully disappointed, cast aside, and have suffered at the hands of some unworthy lover. Can this great divine love affair be tarred with the same brush, with the same bitter expectations that keep the heart closed? You are too beautiful to be hidden away behind a bitter and grated heart that is unworthy of you. So then, can you allow the great beloved to reach for you, to receive that sacred touch every day, to be spoken to with words of love, to receive You who give of yourself, can you recognize the beloved wishes to give to you too? These needs not be mutually exclusive happenings. Come now, deep down, you know the genius of the divine is such that in being received, much is given. You shall not be selfish in letting yourself be seen in love. Allow it, rejoice in it. Take delight in allowing yourself to receive life. Let the world soak up the ardent glow of your sensual surrender to the great beloved's embrace. This oracle brings you a message. Something has to change in your physical world. You are in need of more substance, more love, more connection, and more nourishment than touches your body and soul, and brings them into a deeper oneness with each other, with life, with love. Dare you open up and allow that love in? The great beloved has desired this to be so. Will you heed that holy desire? Will you allow love in? Say yes. If you find this difficult, now is the time to gently, carefully tend to the walls you once placed between yourself and life. Walls of tentativeness, excessive caution, fear of abandonment and betrayal, doubt of your own lovableness, and doubts based on past pain without substance. You are so much greater than these crumbling walls. They are the stuff that is designed for demolition, not devotion and honoring. Can you begin to unpack the bricks you mistakenly believed were essential to your safety and your well-being? You are too vast a sea for a small puddle of thought now. The oceanic world of love is your true home, and the sun is beating down upon you. It is too hot to gaze at the ocean longingly from afar, or even stand by its edge. Strip off your layers, run to the ocean, and dive in. This oracle brings you a special guidance. An offer or opportunity is on its way to you, or has recently been presented. It may be an idea you have been nurturing, or one presented to you by another person. Sit with it. Do you feel exhilaration? Do you feel energy at the thought of saying yes? Then say yes. Allow yourself to receive. There is divine encouragement in taking risks that feel wild and alive to your heart. Sacred honoring ritual. Place your hands in prayer and say, may the almighty divine love and my most beloved brother Rumi bless me with the ability to truly receive in all ways divine abundance and prosperity, being delivered to me now by the grace and mercy of the heavens. May I clear and heal any resistance to receiving life truly, that I may attain to my divine destiny and know and receive love truly in all its majesty. So be it. You can rest for as long as feels good, and then you have finished your honoring ritual. So with that, let's go ahead and just point out a couple of similarities. Again, we are seeing very similar thoughts as Marguerite here in regards to wanting to connect to the divine as the source of love and finding love within ourselves through the divine, being so thoroughly the divine that we love ourselves. Like, it is all of it, right? And then we saw that you were helping birth a beautiful creation. You were helping someone be able to express themselves in the world. Something too that came to me while I was reading was last week we mentioned that it is time for the divine feminine to become the teachers, and so really we're seeing that we're starting to heed the call. And so as you are starting to open up, you're becoming the magician, you're taking on that light, but you are also accepting becoming the teacher and supporting the role of whatever the divine masculine is needing to share or develop within their internal systems. And so that's really why we're having this beautiful partnership again come through, and why ultimately, no matter where you are in your connection or how you yourself feel, because this also could be all internal. You could be like, yes, I've been ignoring this certain idea that is within me. And then as you connect to spirit, as you connect to love, all of a sudden plans and things just really come forward to you. And so it really is dual-fold. With that, we do have a couple more decks. So we have the Hidden Truth for us. This can be from the Divine Masculine. It could be truths for yourself. We saw this last week. It was just shadow work that needed to be addressed. And then sometimes it's just a conversation from spirit to highlight something happening in the situation. You were, I'm sorry. One last thing I wanted to say is that it talks a lot about the fact that you wanted to be more direct, and we are seeing that is a main difference between you and your divine masculine, is that you are wanting that direct energy. So that's why spirit's coming through saying, like, connect within yourself to source in order to find that, in order to develop that change that you're wanting. Say yes to divine love. Okay, now back to the hidden truth. So our first one that we have for you is I still have feelings for you. Okay, I'm hearing this is shadow work more so, because this is more so you when you start to develop more love for yourself, something else that happens is that you start to find more love for those that hurt you, because this is something Brene Brown says that I 100% believe, is that you can only love someone as much as you love yourself. So if you start to love yourself more, you will find that the love for others will grow as well. including those who maybe didn't treat you right, and maybe those who like weren't grateful. I didn't want to say we're undeserving, but essentially like that kind of mentality where they just didn't treat you right and weren't deserving of the energy and love that you were giving them at the time. And so this is really the shadow work is going to be coming up as you develop these loving feelings for yourself. You're going to get these come up, and then that's why you're going to want to say like, never mind, let me shut out that heart feeling right now. But you are the King of Wands more so than the Queen of Swords right now. So it is not asking you to put away your heart. It is asking you to find a way to express your feelings into the external and bring it out so that you can understand more and be more balanced within your heart and mind. And then next, will you ever make things right? Okay, we're just going to continue down these shadow work prompts. And this is dualfold. This came up, I apologize, I believe this came up last week for the Divine Feminine. So, and I'm going to say the same thing again. We're still needing to ask those questions about like, why are we asking for responsibility? Why are we asking for justice? And who are we placing that burden upon and why? And how much is that burden needing to be shared, and how much are we needing to just give it away to spirit? So that's ultimately what I'm seeing here. Again, is just this question still coming up because you're still like, well, I still deserved more in that situation. And spirit is not denying you. That's why spirit is saying, I'm here to give you that more. Okay. And then I still feel the pain. Okay. If you didn't think you were stubborn before, you are. Especially in this spirit again is coming through. Definitely you are going to be needing to literally ask spirit to help you with clearing out the negative energies, with accepting the love with that is available to you. And that may come through in a variety of different emotional ways. And spirit is just showing me like, just lean into root chakra as much as you can whenever you're feeling unstable, because you've done the work. Something I'm hearing, like you are the essence. You've done that. That is very firm. So whenever you're feeling doubt, especially as you're working with this, just go back to your base and understand exactly how firm and stable you truly are, and how you have built yourself. And then through that, you're going to be able to work through those feelings. And then finally, we have I admire you. And so this honestly is coming through for me. Like this is probably like how you feel, or not how you feel, but how like most people feel about you in general. So we had something similar come out. Attractive. We had attractive come out in for the Divine Masculine. So for you, the fact that we have I admire you coming out, this really is more like role model. Like people aren't just like drawn to you, they want to be so much more of your essence. And something too that coming through with that is like part of when you start to learn how to love yourself more, and part of that love is coming from source. Like that is something too, like people are going to admire that for you because they are wanting to bring that similar energy to themselves, because that ultimately is what most souls are hungry for, right? That's what we're learning here. And so that is why we're getting this come through, because as you are learning these things, this is going to be something to be aware of, that is a hidden truth of those around you. So if anyone is being like maybe negative or jealous, this is what's happening. If maybe your Divine Masculine isn't speaking out to you as well, or again, you're like your project partners, they are probably just admiring you. I'm hearing if you feel like people are talking about you behind your back, probably more is positive commentary. You're just used to negative. So instead manifest and say, you know, I bet people are complimenting my work right now because it is pretty good. And just follow that thought process instead. Or if like you aren't spending that much time with people, you can say, you know what, I am spending my time loving myself. How great is that? I just did a self-retreat. I bet other people would want to do this. And just like kind of take that same mentality energy in there, and let it be more positive. You don't want to be like, people are so jealous or envious of me. Just like, yeah, I do inspire others. I am working towards a reasonable state of personality. For some reason, like sometimes we shame ourselves about how we choose to be seen in the world. So this is again something maybe you need to hear, especially if you are isolating yourself, or if you are maybe feeling selfish, right? That kind of came up as a trigger word. So this is something to keep in mind. Any shame that is coming through is that you are being seen through the external as I admire you. And this is coming through honestly like spirit, friends and family, co-workers, like anyone in the external, your Divine Masculine in the 5D, 3D, literally everyone is seeing this for you. So I would encourage you, like, this would be your mirror affirmation if you do one, is just say, I admire you in the mirror. Just smile at yourself and say, I admire you. And it will just start to boost up. You'll just start giving yourself all kinds of compliments. You'll start manifesting yourself more, is what I just heard. And then last but not least, we do have a affirmation for you. We just have one that came out for our Divine Feminine today. So, mistakes help you improve. Okay, so very interesting. So this coming through for me right now is telling me more so because, right, you are a go-getter, you're used to it, you're going through and you are moving through these moments, but maybe something that you've done is like you hold a lot of shame and a lot of judgments for the decisions you have made in the past, and so that's why you like put away your heart and why you aren't really working for things. But then also this is a good affirmation to temper the King of Wands and Magician energy, because as much as you manifest, script, put out your intentions into the world, you still have to let them go. And sometimes when you let things go, unexpected things can happen. And that's just how it was meant to be. So Spirit is kind of just reminding you that sometimes it's all working out to your benefit. And I'm hearing I'm seeing like the media, media montages in movies when something is knocked onto a keyboard or like a science lab and like something else is created because of it, and they're like, oh my goodness, the secret formula. And like that's kind of like the same mentality I'm getting. So like whatever project you're working on, just give yourself so much grace. Again, love yourself through every step and every moment. I'm also hearing make sure to celebrate every step and every moment. Like after you like write out your business plan or your outline or however it is, if you have it in chunks, you can be like, okay, once I get this part done, we're going to celebrate with a cookie. And then once I get this bigger part done, I'm going to take a whole day off. And like certain things like that, like just make sure to reward yourself and like really encourage the fact that you are doing a great job and admire yourself. Okay. Sorry. I'm going to go ahead and leave it there for Divine Feminine. I just want to say again, you are killing it. You're going through it. Thank you again for being here. Please like and subscribe. If this resonated with you, don't forget to comment below, gain some support from like-minded community, and I will definitely see you guys next time. Blessed be.